Oh, those are my shoes. I get you guys all the time with that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. Oh boy, we like that part, yeah. Here's your host of Shyzabox. Is the show starting? Oh, it must be. We heard our introduction. Good up, girl. Let's go. We got to get to work. Everybody loves us. We heard our introduction. Thank you, girl. Get out of here. And the horse. You wrote it on. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, nuns and all. That's right, priests, preachers, weirdos, cardinals, rabbis, bishops, whoever's out there having themselves a good time. And Alcoholics Anonymous, whoever's kicking it, thinking to themselves, it's a new day. Hey, fantastic. And with it being a new day, you might be thinking to yourself like, wow, what did my algorithm kick me? Boy, do we not know. Nobody knows. But the point is that we have got a show for you today. Okay? Now, whilst it might not be good, not every show can be good. It's free. There you go. You got to take the pros with the cons. But there's one good thing about it. Of course, with us having claimed, Daryl Dixon dibs on being the best of the worst internet celebrity there is. Okay? That's right. Inherently, there's going to be a foundation to it, all right, that allows it to exist on the ground floor level of, crap, okay? Will be the ground floor, okay? We called Daryl Dixon dibs on it, okay? That's right. You are probably familiar with him from The Walking Dead, okay? Yes. It's a popular show. I believe it was AMC, ABC, TVZ, ABTMZ that had it. One of those that had a bunch of letters in their name of, whatever the channel is. Point is that not only was it a show, at times when they weren't getting captured at the end of every season only to free themselves at the beginning of the next, it proved fairly decent in nature, okay? That's right. We loved us some Walking Dead. That's why we learned from it and called Daryl Dixon dibs on being the best of the worst internet celebrities that there is. That's right. Everything else that you watch is just going to be better, okay? It's just inherently guaranteed. That's our promise to you, okay? We will consistently present this. Okay? It'll always be free. We'll never paywall hit. No one would pay for it anyway. Hey! Don't tell better jokes than us. Drives away our One's fan. Hi, Mom. She'll think you have a channel and stream too. She'll think that she'd rather wait for you to stream than come watch us. Believe you me, we can't lose that One's view that we got. It's really important to the channel. You see, we don't have a ceiling, okay? That's why we peddle our literary wares, okay? Peddle them somewhere else. What? It's free. Your book should be free. Hey, we can't have free books and free show and free games. Go play some of those. They're on the IPFS site. That's right. Good old-fashioned fun. If you don't want to wait for an IPFS to load and you don't want to go through the extensions or anything like that, you can go play Shyzapong on the shortcut mobile version. That's right. It's a little shortcut through Pinata, but believe you me, as soon as we're able to afford a roof, we probably won't pay for the roof, and we'll just pin the entire site to Pinata, okay? But, to be honest, we're not going to do that on our own accord. If we can't afford a roof, we can't afford to pin the IPFS site on Pinata, okay? Now, go to Amazon and buy some of our books. Don't buy that one physically. It's too expensive. You don't want that one physically, okay? Point is that none of that really matters. We don't need a ceiling with which to hang out. We don't need a, necessarily new day, aside from the fact that you obviously need a new day to hang out or anything along those lines. But in order to just sit back, kick back, and, have themselves a good old-fashioned time and think to themselves, whatever is more awe-inspiring, whatever is more, capable of entertaining that of the mind, all right, than that of just regular good old-fashioned philosophical entertainment on a good old-fashioned Sunday day of rest in regards to many ways, shapes, and forms. Okay? Now, everyone's going to practice and adhere to things on their own accord and in their own, mentalities of such, but when we think to ourselves, we want to have a good time. It's a new day. We aren't necessarily working on anything else aside from that of which we are already working on, which most of it's already presented in one way, shape, or form. Okay, that's right. You can go to the IPFS site now. You can go play with any of the demos or code. You can go audit our math and our science on Kaggle. No better way to spend a Sunday than auditing math. Whatever floats your boat, right? But there is a time where it exists, where you think to yourselves, wow, here I sit on a Sunday, and there's only old shows to watch. There's only old that to do, all right? And I'm not in a doing mood myself, okay? With that being the case, obviously, it's very beneficial then to have a form of live entertainment, okay? Now, might not be that entertaining in many regards, okay? But having a source, all right, that taps into, all right, that of what is reality at the time, all right, that is which is manipulatable or, malleable or with which you can, disseminate consciously into your own thoughts, that of, another's. Or you can, throw into the chat your own ideas, whims, jokes, thoughts, this, that, the other, okay? All of that inherently exists and allows for foundation to be laid to think to yourself, wow, it's a new day and new thoughts may arise, new endeavors may be undertaken, new, friendships made, new hardships toiled, okay? Well, no one wants a hardship. Foundationally, mankind's put many hardships in their own path, okay? That's right. When you start thinking of the complexities of human history and how disregarded it was in maintaining its accuracy, we dropped the ball somewhere. There's a phase 1 get underpants, phase 2, phase 3, here's our timeline we sit in, okay? Humanity dropped the ball on recording history accurately, okay? Now, when you have war and strife and disease and plague and natural disasters and, this, that, the other, acts of God, whatever you want to call it, all right, therein lies many complications to maintaining the established, histories or recordings thereof of mankind, okay? If, obviously, library gets burned to the ground that housed many one-of-a-kind manuscripts that hadn't been digitized or translated or transferred into other cultures, religious, sects, or in their, legal aspects and components of their stuff, or their, corporate components and aspects, any of the thought that's correlated to, being exchanged via a parchment or a book or a, dissemination technique thereof, using literary means for dissemination or pictorial means as well, okay? Keep in mind, things like hieroglyphics and things like that would apply. Sanskrit, maybe even perhaps in many ways, shapes, and forms, okay? Now, depends on how you look at it. Are they characters? Are they shapes? Are they designs? Are they, components of things like that, right? Whatever you want it to be. Inherently, though, it's almost thinking, wow, mankind dropped the ball in recording history, right? Yeah. But lo and behold, it's a new day. That's why good old Shyzabox comes along and, along with many other individuals, surely, okay? That's right. many folks out there may harbor and adhere to and maintain the same beliefs and or, theories or, quandaries and, contemplations that we ourselves, inherently or inadvertently may record or write or speak of, okay? There exists a familiarity, thence, with, anyone who can establish that correlation in being able to foundationally recognize that maybe, perhaps, humanity did drop the ball on recording history and or that of what was obfuscated, intentionally omitted and left out, changed, anything like that, all right? All of these negative Joey-esque interjections, okay, that's right, things that ruin, the trajectory of humanity's course on that of light and truth and, the measurement thereof, okay? Any of our questions, resoundingly, we put up to that of the greatest light that we can, okay? That of the light of truth, okay? And with that, that's why we offer all of our mathematical computations and theories and things of that nature for free, and we disclose them for the auditability thereof. Okay? We hide not behind the math and science, for the math and science that we, ourselves conveniently adhere to functions without a remainder left over. Okay? So it makes it fairly easy, all right, for one to either say yes or no. Okay? Think of it as good old Shyzabox being in the judgment seat. Okay? Good old Shyzabox made a mathematical algorithm, okay, that says yes or no. Okay? It either is or it is not. It is either plausible or possible or it is not. Okay? Now, obviously, as we move into more of a less hand-holding, discourse and things of that nature, as we start to maintain and adhere to further Eastern, forms and iterations of philosophies and stuff in a westernized manner and tradition practiced herein, of course, you're welcome. Good old lack of guidance on good old Shyzabox. Well, we have all the right guidance because we have that of the best works and books with which we feel exist, okay? Are they yours? No. The best works and books that exist are not good old Shyzaboxes. Well, sure. Thank you, Mom. But no, things like the Bible, all right? That is one of the greatest works ever written, created, devised, all right? Whether you like it, whether you believe it, whether you adhere to it or not, all right? You must consistently think of the fact that the Bible is both one of the best-selling books and one of the most popularly stolen books that has existed throughout quite a length of time, okay? Now, keep in mind, we don't have all the big money for the Joe Rogan of the fact checkers or the Tim Pools of the panel of check all of our, sayings, okay? Obviously, that's why this is all for philosophical entertainment, and it is within this time frame that we do need to issue an apology for something that happened last stream. So pertaining to our last stream, okay? Sorry about that. Excellent. Forgive and forget, right? Certainly, if we did say anything that was wrong or incorrect, we're forgiven now because we apologized for it, okay? That's how it works, okay? The world must admit that it can be wrong. We must be able and capable to admit that we can be wrong. We don't feel we're wrong now. Well, many people don't. But inherently, there's got to be something that we're wrong about, okay? When we tackle topics like the new non-native species on mankind's origin, all right, and we think about how humanity's timeline has been obfuscated, obscured, recorded incorrectly, kept up with inaccurately, natural disasters have occurred, things of that nature, all right? We look at the timelines as well of medieval history and when there was, the change in the aspect of astronomy and when you went from, alchemy to, other iterations of stronger, forms thereof, all right? Humanity got many things wrong and incorrect over time, okay? It just happens, okay? Everyone's going to, all right? When we utilize that of our chapter 7s in any of our literary works that, so deemed need to be to have. What's that mean? Yeah, doesn't matter. We correlate, all right, the accountability that things can be inaccurate, things can be, portrayed in a bad judgment, a bad light, undescriptively, perfect in what they desire to do and or disseminate knowledge or information-wise, okay? There's going to be, over the length of time, all right, issues with any literary piece that comes out, any, methodologies that are utilized or used that are ancient or old or archaic in nature, okay? Such is the case when we start thinking along the lines of, again, this is all for philosophical entertainment, utilize that of your own risk. When we start thinking along the lines of contemplating what physics-wise can exist and can be and mathematically is allowed under, the guise of any inherent structured ecosystem that one can create to control the entropy, the thermodynamics, any of the, aspects and components, all right, of a mechanical versus a hermetic intertwining, okay, of computational and energy-like, all right, correlations therewith, okay? Now, again, we're not going to handhold on utilizing that of Eastern philosophy and that of what we disseminate nowadays, okay? We're just too past that, all right? We've done far too much to keep going back and just lollygagging and joking around about, kind of some of the smaller petty stuff, okay? Now, there's good and bad to that. We'll happily entertain any questions of that which way arise in, the chats or in emails or, comments on X or Bluesky of the Bluesky we started because we got suspended from X and libeled by Grok, okay? Don't claim, Cotton. It's the internet. We don't claim that of which we don't inherently believe to be, okay? Believe you me, good old Shyzabox throws all of his math and stuff out there. When we say we were libeled by Grok on X, okay, and literally could probably go seek legal counsel with which to sue the shit out of them, okay? We even sent them the, without prejudice letters and stuff like that were blatantly and completely ignored by all facets of their legal apparatuses and things of that nature, okay? Because X doesn't give a shit. Free speech my ass. Theoretically, okay? Obviously, trillionaire EM stands for Elon Musk. That's what we call him. Okay? The entwinings of him overseeing any component or aspect of, his companies is minuscule at best, theoretically, okay? He's probably so ungrounded from the realities of his companies and things of that nature, and he has such as grandiose aspects and platforms with which he is on, no one ever knocks his ass down a peg or two in his fucking infrastructure, okay? Now, that's where good old mommy gets to slap daddy around, okay? Good old Shyzabox gets to be mommy, okay? Elon Musk can play daddy because he has the wallet, okay? That's archaic. How dare you? Okay, well, it's just how our relationship works. It works for us. We don't have money. He does. We don't have a roof. He has mansions. Whatever. He probably lives in some recharge chamber or something like that. I don't know. We don't know. We conjecture, of course. It's all for philosophical entertainment. Or the lack thereof. Hey, Elon Musk is probably so disjoined from reality, all right, that he's going to have a completely separate recording of reality and history therein itself, all right? When he writes his autobiography, when he writes his book, all right, inherently it's going to maintain, all right, his structured reality. It's going to maintain his vision, his thought, his conscious dissemination, okay? If he's ghost written, then, that thereof doesn't matter. Point is that it will instantaneously, all right, almost certainly garner and gain a level of notoriety to it just from merely that of its existence, okay? Elon the Musk has the fan base, has the following, has the, folks that are even infatuated with that of not being a fan or following of his, okay? That dedicate and devote the amount of time to which they would happily invest in purchasing a new book from Elon the Musk just to merely shred it apart literarily and thought-wise, and every single component thereof, okay? But as an entity like Elon Musk flops back and forth, and, that of how he's viewed in the public eyes and things of that nature, just the same way as for us, in the eyes of mankind and humanity, it doesn't matter. Okay? It's going to be the truth will out at the end, all right? When Elon Musk, if he writes his autobiography and it becomes New York Times bestseller, 100 million copies sold, as much as he has dollary dues of, okay? He sells that many copies, and then good old Shyzabox has his copy of Delectable, okay? Now, we say, obviously, it's available on Amazon.com and Kindle Unlimited. Do not buy this book in the physical form thereof, because it's overpriced, all right? And we don't want anyone to inherently go drop $250 on a physical copy of the book. Well, unless you're Elon Musk and you're rich, go to town, good sir, because, believe you me, you'll probably want to hire us thereafter. Just to shut us up. Or because you're super rich, Elon, I don't know, you tell us. Where's our sign-on bonus Tesla with the briefcase full of cash and the Tesla phone linked directly to you? I don't know, right? You libeled us, Grok, not the other way around. We don't appreciate it. We forgive you, right? We aren't seeking legal counsel or litigation or anything like that. But, we have issues, okay, with that of the disjoined aspects and components, all right, that reality can convey and portray, all right, in the grand scheme of things. That's going to take years and years to rear their head and be dealt with in a advantageous to universality, all right, to its allness, okay? Yeah, a little confusing. Who cares? If you have the 1 million copies of the Elon Musk book and the 1 copy of the Delectable book, okay, throughout history, all right, the truth in what needs to survive, having been recorded, having been written, obviously, in digital form and or in physical form thereof, all right, is going to survive in the channels that it does, okay? Look at how different aspects and components of history rear their head and are further discovered, rediscovered, redeveloped, recreated, reanalyzed, re-examined, any of this, that, the other, all right? It all comes full circle eventually, and that of the truth will out, because the truth cannot be erased. It inherently exists in that of lithic logic, okay? There is a grounding foundation to a structured reality that has to exist, okay? Not just theoretically, which again, this is all for, philosophical entertainment, okay? But beyond a theoretical level, there must be a ground-lying foundation which exists. It must, okay? Within a means to build upon, there must be a foundation laid, okay? Now, it doesn't have to resonantially be a foundation that inherently, theoretically, lies in that of the physical realm, okay? When you talk about resonance and when you talk about that of what exists in natural light and that thereof, all right, you think of the light of truth or anything along those lines, okay? Inherently, that is something that cannot be obfuscated, obscured, or omitted, okay? You can try and cover it up, you can try and circumvent it, you can try and redirect it, you can try and control it, but inherently it's going to adhere to those, parameters within are foundationally laid to that of what it is, okay? For that then to exist, that therein is inherently a foundation with which can be built upon, okay? Now, like we said, you may not necessarily in this 3D realm be able to touch light, okay? You touch fire, it's hot. Ah! Don't touch fire. Bad idea. Shit's hot. Get burned. That's right. Don't play with fire. Play with fire, you're gonna get burned. That's right. Just because you can't touch light doesn't mean that light doesn't exist, okay? So just because you can't touch that of what is a foundation doesn't mean that the foundation exists, okay? So therefore, theoretically, and beyond that of theory, when we literally center that of our logic, okay, and not even our logic, that of lithic logic, into that of the ecosystem of Kaggle, and it transfers an entire metric kernel of data from that of Kaggle, okay, to that of Web3, inherently, you know, we have bridged that of the divide and that of the gap, okay, with the tunneling methodologies. That quantum tunneling, therefore, allows and is permeated to do, okay? Now, again, we don't hide behind that of our computational endeavors. We don't hide behind that of our mathematical on-takings. We don't hide behind that of our theory, okay? It's all presented, therefore, to you in the descriptifications through the links to directly Kaggle for the math and science, should you want to audit it. And there's the fun in theory and form and fashion on the IPFS, should you be able to navigate to that of which, okay? All the games are on there as well, okay? Good old-fashioned fun, okay? And if you want the shortcutted version because you don't want to deal with the complexities of utilizing the future tech of Web3 or the technologies that exist therein, you're free to utilize that of the shortcut methods on Pinata that we use in their free method, okay, to post, all right? We're independent researcher, okay? We're a self-published author, all right? We literally don't have the infrastructure of the Elon of the Musk, who's so disassociated with reality, okay, theoretically, okay, that he wouldn't understand the complexities, okay, of a task like having to get your oil changed on a car, okay? He drives electric. Well, therein you go, okay? Not everybody does. Now, his reality is going to be a little different, okay? His reality is going to be captured a little more uniquely, okay? As he flies on private jets or helicopters or visits, you know, different nations and localities and talks to, you know, different entities and, you know, heads of states for different affiliated organizations and things of that nature. Elon of the Musk is going to have a far different perspective, all right, on reality than, you know, Bob down at Bob's Garage, all right, that changes oil and fixes tires, okay? Their realities are going to be different, okay? Bob's going to have the understanding of what it takes to bring his family out to, you know, dinner once a week, to go to even something as simple as a Chick-fil-A, all right, spend 50, 60 bucks, okay, on like a 4-top, 5-top, okay? Just split nuggets. You want them to just eat nuggets? He wants to treat his kids just as well. All right, there's a little difference, all right, between that and being able to theoretically buy a Chick-fil-A and put it in your basement, okay? You can hire staff and build a hotel add-on and have them live there full time. Indentured servitude to the next level. It's a good paycheck. I work for Elon Musk. I live in his house. I get to take the chain off my ankle on Wednesday. Gotta rub that cream on there and make sure that rash doesn't get any worse. Can't transfer those scratchings at night trying to gnaw your leg off while you're making their fries the next morning. Okay? Believe you me, Elon isn't dumb. We would never state as such. Man is very, very smart, okay? Regardless of how one may feel about him or not. Now, we personally, knowing that he's probably our future boss, okay? He's going to want to show up with his briefcase full of cash to shut us up one day or have us, you know, do shit for him, one or the other. we'll be like, hey, Elon Musk, you know, this relationship's going to work a little differently, okay? We're not your regular employee. No. Good old Shyzabox don't care about your dumbass whatever you do, okay? When we work for Elon Musk and he's our new boss, we're going to work for the people, okay? That's right. We're going to keep that shit public as hell, okay? That's right. Laugh all you want. You're going to be seeing Elon Musk at his press conferences, you know, like talking to people, and we're going to be right over his shoulder, okay? We're going to be like, don't listen to him. That's stupid, okay? And he's going to be so mad. He's going to be like, why did I even pay this guy, right? He won't know. It doesn't matter. Elon Musk will be so perturbed at the fact that he hired us, but we're going to make such a, you know, big spectacle of it. He's not going to be able to do anything about it, okay? Now, like we said, he's still going to benefit from the relationship, okay? Now, we're pretty good at what we do, right? Theoretically. We like to think we are. Everyone does. It's the limitations and drawbacks of mankind. Believe you me, when we called Daryl Dixon dibs on being the best of the worst internet celebrity that there is, we knew that we would be filling a role, all right, that necessitated a constant need of being critiqued and walked on, okay, if you will. Believe you me, we're used to it. Nothing new. You might be saying to yourself, like, wow, a new day. Someone willing to work for Elon Musk and make him look like a bitch in public. That's right. Not only would we have no problem with, you know, telling Elon Musk off and doing it in the public sphere, he would such to a degree regret having hired us that, you know, there'd be nothing he could do about it. Because we know, with us being claimant to Daryl Dixon dibs being the best of the worst internet celebrity there is, you know, I mean, he couldn't really wipe us off of anything, okay? He already tried. They already suspended us. We got reinstated for merely being a person, okay? It's how much better we are than his algorithms. Theoretically, of course, okay? When you attack a big entity like Elon Musk, and believe you me, we don't attack our future boss, okay? We merely entice him to show up with a briefcase full of cash to shut us up sooner, okay? It's called getting us under an NDA, Elon. Believe you me, you're going to want this swarm mesh demo we made eventually, okay? And as soon as you stop, you know, playing with yourself on this Mars thing, we start taking care of problems for, you know, I don't know, humanity that's here on Earth. Set aside your reptilian bionic ways. Theoretically, of course. You know, we're gonna tell Elon Musk, you know, publicly, of course, you know. We'll just, any interaction we have with him, we'll probably call a news conference, okay? Even though we'll be like his little, like, personal, like, secretary and stuff, but not a secretary, cosmological philosopher, okay? Maybe not even a good one. Debatable. As we're sitting there, we'll be like, hey, Elon, we got a press conference again. That's right. You were trying to do something stupid, okay? And believe you me, while it only necessitates an email, we're going to have to call you out in public, okay? That's right. That's how it works. Because believe you me, Daddy doesn't get to ground the kids without asking Mama first, okay? That's right. We get to be Mama. And, yes, with the territory, we do have to call Elon Daddy. But that's okay. We'll call our boss Daddy whenever it's necessitated, okay? We don't sell out, we buy in, okay? Obviously, that's SLC Punk 101. Okay? But the physical practice of being, okay, the Shyzalosophy affords, okay? Working for Elon Musk, yes, we know when we'd have to take it, okay? But believe you me, the public spectacle and everything like that would be far more entertaining. Or it wouldn't. Doesn't matter. Beholden in the eyes of man, it's irrelevant, as that of whatever the truth holds out be, shall be. All right. When you think to yourself, it's a new day, a new dawning, all right? Anything that you devote, all right, to that of the creation therewith is going to yield that of what it, provides, depending on what you put into it, okay? As we joke around and have fun just toying with for philosophical entertainment, obviously, picking fun at the trillionaire of Elon Musk, okay? Yes, we do it under a blanketed guise, okay, of jest and vague seriousness, okay? There are components to how the world works nowadays, all right? With algorithms, with, the sheer amount of components to means and venues and apparatuses with which one can disseminate, create, do that of which that just adds to, all right, the overall scope of what exists, all right, creating more existence, all right, into existing. It's when you devote all of your time to these things that you're able to conceptualize and move forward and, kind of do that of which is theoretically, all right, pretty grand in scope beyond measures of metric and meaning, okay? As we joke around about Elon Musk showing up with a briefcase full of cash, all right? Perhaps one day he may very well want to, okay? For the same reason, all right, and the same methodologies, all right, that have been known throughout that of where they exist, okay? As truth will round out, all right, that of what already we have created exists for free and to be utilized and done therewith, okay? We have already provided X with upgrades to that of their infrastructure and things of that nature. We've provided many components and elements verifiably, okay, that can be ascertained through our public interactions with Gronk back in, that of especially his free days, okay? So believe you me, wasn't always paywalled, right? That's right. So I will never paywall this show. Okay? This show will always be free, right? For that of what it is. Okay? Whether it has entertaining aspects or not, whether it's a serious episode or not, whether it's one that discloses new endeavors or ventures that we embark or take upon, all right? Either way, we think inherently to ourselves, wow, it's a new day, all right? And we're able to inherently provide that of what we do to whoever wants to partake in the usages thereof, okay? If you want to read a book that you are maybe unfamiliar with or that you never thought that you might want to read, maybe go check out one of the philosophical literary wares with which we peddle and publish. If you're not a reader, you don't like doing that, you need not. Go play a free game on the IPFS, okay? If you don't want to do that either, then you're welcome to entertain any of the, media that the channel has presented or thrown forth, all right? All of it unpaywalled, all right, with the exception of the literary works that we created, with which is the dissemination of conscious thought and, components and aspects thereof, that inherently acts as a foundation, okay, to get us to fix the roof, okay? But the foundation is built in such a manner, all right, that it's already laid, all right, and you don't need to help us fix the roof, all right? The foundation's set up to where you can play the games, interact with the theory, have fun on the show and stuff that'll never be paywalled or anything like that, okay? And the literary endeavors and components, all right, exist for whenever someone has $1 or $2 left over for a digital book or something like that, or $6, $7. 6, 7! Okay. For maybe a physical copy of one of our other literary works, okay? Them existing in themselves, obviously, to ourselves, yield that of what we hope to, kind of foreshadow any of the other necessities or complications from not having a roof, okay? with the aspects and endeavors, all right, that anyone takes on in their new days, all right, with us painting that of the pictures, all right, where we venture to go forth or what we present or do, all right, we're at the point in time, all right, as we've stated now the last few streams, where we're not going to sugarcoat any of the Eastern philosophy stuff anymore and do the hand-holding, okay? We'll be a little more forthcoming with that of the philosophical, complexities of the entertainment presented therewith, okay? But we're at the point where we're, either we start working with other individuals or folks making stuff, and or, we sell out for some company that comes and, brings us and slaps us under an NDA. We're getting bored. We made games, we made demos, we got our theories, like, we're ready to rock and roll and do some awesome stuff. But, we've always done awesome stuff by ourselves. But just because we think it's awesome doesn't mean that it is, okay? Shyzapong, we think's awesome. The LimeWire-inspired music player we got, we think's awesome. Maybe you don't like Pong, maybe you hate music. Don't get on their case, okay? Maybe they're communists. They hate music from what I hear. I don't know. We could be wrong. Maybe they allow one kind. That's right. Something to celebrate. Something you can listen to. As we embark on, undertaking that of this day, that we can sit back and literally say, wow, it's a new day, and even though it finds itself merely only about halfway over from that of where we sit, there are many undertakings with which can still be done and embarked upon, okay? So as we familiarize ourselves with what we have left to, embark upon, as we lay thought and contemplation to our ridiculings of our future hypothetical boss, Elon Musk, and think about, there's no way he's going to backlog and check every video that we ever made, right? Surely we can talk bad about him here or there somewhere and it's not going to come back to haunt us, right? But no, we don't really have anything bad to say about him, okay? Except for the fact that he's disassociated with reality, okay? Well, with physical reality, not that of his own, okay? And his physical reality is reality in itself, okay? That's right. But Elon Musk views it from being rich, okay? Believe you me, inherently, you can think to yourself, wow, that's a different kind of reality, okay? That's right. Think about it. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, all right, if you have any kind of credit card debt or anything like that, foundationally, your reality is going to be far different from that of Elon Musk's, okay? Inherently, there's going to be a structural difference to how you wake up and have to undertake your day versus how he wakes up and has to undertake his. Now, he may very well work harder, be more motivated, do that of which is more hardcore, arduous, strenuous than ones could never know or possibly fathom, okay? However, that perceived reality is going to be far different as far as the problems, the complexities, and that of what's offered as the inherent direction that needs to be focused upon for those of realities, to be in existence or anything like that, okay? He's going to have to focus on his needs, same way Bob is going to have to focus on his, okay? His credit card debt, his bills, his family, okay? Elon Musk has his, but those realities are conceptually very, very different, okay? Anyhow, as we think to ourselves, wow, a new day, we've made it to the point we didn't even think that we were going to come hang out today, so any of the kiddings and jokings and poking Elon Musk with a stick aside, we're good at it. Trust us. Our new boss will love us. Us and Elon go way back to when his infrastructure libeled us and Grok libeled us. It's going to make that briefcase full of cash that he shows up with to get us under an NDA all the more better, okay? Believe you me. Point being, as we finish our swill, as we embark on the rest of the new day now, and pray to that of God that we are given that of yet another new day and that of the future to embark upon yet again. Okay, that of what we do or present for philosophical entertainment, for the lack thereof. Okay, as we disseminate that of which, okay, we embark in that of our conscientious thought and wish to convey to whoever partaketh in desiring to, I don't know, watch anything or something like that. Sometimes you just need to fill the airwaves. Believe you me, that's what we're here for. That's right. We might not always fill them well. But, just like many things, with us, we love to fill you up. Don't take that out of context. That's right. But as we move forward into that of our further endeavors and ventures today, we'll probably, maybe, perhaps, do something productive, maybe not, maybe partake in some components or aspects of updating something on the IPFS site or making a new demo or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll check our email. Or maybe we'll just sit and brew another pot of Go juice and contemplate the complexities of what can exist in everyday life. But believe you me, with us being out of swill now, we leave you with the thoughts of always, of course, taking care of that of yourself first and foremost, because there's only one you and we can never replace you. Okay? So you must do that. That's right. Be sure that you look around after you put on your own mask as the plane's going down, okay? And you see that maybe there is a little hope in the distance, all right? To keep that hope alive, you look around, you take care of anyone else who needs it very, very much second, okay? They're in the corner, they don't know how to ask. You give them that hope second. You look around the room, you take care of anyone else that you like and or love more than us, okay? Unlikely, maybe. You take care of them third. But any other crap you got left over, we'll take. Beggars can't be choosers, okay? We don't got a ceiling. We'd love to get one day. Believe you me. Something about having one would make us feel rich, like Elon Musk. But no, we're rich in a different way. A way that perhaps Elon Musk can't be and maybe can't even afford to be. We might be more rich than Elon Musk, believe it or not, in that of spirit. That's right. Because believe you me, whilst Elon Musk might have the massive purse strings to, buy his way into many a venue in a club, okay, he can't just buy his way into our hearts. He has to appeal to our spirit first before we take his money. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Go do something else. As always, we don't want your subscription. We want your money. Download the shit out of this. Go to Cashapp and give us $1, or go to Amazon.com or Kindle Unlimited and buy one of our books. Get off our lawn.